Hi, my name is Menorvia Dixson-Ross, and I am a educator and a business owner. My daughter and I, we are dual. We have a salon and a beauty school.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi Ewanfo, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
And I've been in the industry as teaching for over 30 years, and I've been a cosmetology for over 40 years. And with the business was founded by, like I said, my mother and daughter duo in Southfield, Michigan. And so we just focus on training and educating. And with the school, we just, let them know that it's not just a beauty school, but it's a breathing ground for the next generation of stylists who are motivated, educated, and motivated to inspire to just succeed in this beauty industry. And so we offer different programs for them. We design it for education that goes beyond classroom. We have courses on hands-on training, technical training, business skills, and job placement to assist the students in launching their career. And throughout their training, we are there to mentor them and help them through the process.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I believe there is a lot that we can actually pull out from there. But first, we would like to know you more. So would you like to tell me something about yourself, your background? So where did you grow up, and help us understand that?
So I'm a Southern girl. I grew up in Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, and then we moved here. And fast forward, growing up, I ended up getting married, have 5 beautiful children, and 11 grandchildren and 1 great-great-grandchildren. So I've always been about educating and training ever since I was a little girl. I've always wanted to teach or show people how to do things, and just helping and being in the community and volunteering my service to help and donating service to help, those that are unfortunate get their hair done. And I just enjoy what I do, and it just motivates me knowing that I can help. And when I look back and see my students that have graduated and doing very well for themselves, that makes me feel good that I had an impact on their life. And so that's where I'm at with that. And I'm just that simple girl just trying to make a difference in the community and helping and training people to better themselves.
That is so powerful. In the community that we are concentrating on, which is the African diaspora community, we are a huge community now. Actually, we are hundreds of millions of people all over the world, from UK to US, Canada, Italy, Germany, France, all over. So we have a huge potential. And now what we are concentrating on is, how do we connect among ourselves? How do we do businesses together? How do we teach each other? How do we learn from each other? And most importantly, how do we tell our story? This is what we're actually concentrating on in this podcast. Because the project itself it came from a research where I tried to understand the first Africans in northern Italy. Why did they come here? What has been their experience with the local people? So that is why we are intentional about the story part of it. So when I'm asking you where you are coming from, it's not just to fill up the time. We are really interested in that because we want to look for a way to better connect. As a young girl, what do you remember of your days growing up in Tennessee? Let me understand that. Again, we are intentional about this.
Okay, so growing up in Tennessee, I was there when I was a young girl, but I was a part of that, watching my parents pick cotton in the cotton field. So I remember that as a 3-year-old. I think I was around 3 years old, and in the field with my father, and we picking cotton. So I learned at a young age what it takes to work hard to get something, and to start from the bottom and work your way up, and seeing the difference in people that they had to different in people as a young girl. Just a quick story. My mom was taking me in town, and then you had to go through the back door. And so I told my mom I wanted some water. And she said, you got to go through the back door. I said, I'm not going through the back door. So I knew then I was going to be a trailblazer because I was standing up for something. I knew a young girl that wasn't right. Why should I have to go through the back door? How come I can't go through the front door? And my mother said I had her scared many times because I was that little girl like, no, I'm not doing that. Why I can't do this? This not right. I knew that. So that's why I know that I want to do things that's right. I want to work and make that difference in the community, that we all share the same. We all learn the same. We don't get left behind because of the skin, the color of our skin, or who we are. So I remember that as a young girl, about that, not making different between someone because we all are the same color and we bleed the same blood. So that's what I remember as a young girl, that story. So, and it's just strong. So if someone asks me what inspired you, I think about Harriet Tubman, how she led the people out of, to safe ground and to get them out of that struggle. I'm that girl that I want to help get the people out of that struggle, that they can do better for themselves. You don't have to, because your parents didn't have an education, that doesn't mean you don't have to have an education. So I want to be there to pull them up and help them to do better in themselves. And I know out of all people that education is powerful. Out of 7 children, my dad had over 30 some kids. I am the only one with a higher education. So I paved the way so that the ones can come up and grab this torch and go further and get their education so they can be able to do better and help others in the community.
I like the way you are referring to the project in line with the community, because really that is what it is. And the community is very important. We need to build the community, put in positive information that will inspire people. Um, yeah, it is very important. Now, I like the story that you shared. I want you to expand on that a bit. So your mother told you that you should pass through the back door to get water. And you told her, no, you're not going to pass through the back door. You want to pass through the front door because that is where other people pass. So tell me what happened there. What happened? Did you eventually went to the back door or the front door? Then what happened about it?
I went through the front door. I came to them. My mother said she was so scared because she didn't know what was going to happen. And they let me come in. And I said, I want a glass of water. My mother said she was so nervous. And the lady gave me a glass of water and everybody looked and they didn't say nothing. My mother said, I said, thank you. And we left out. And I told my mother, see? And she said, little girl.
How old were you then?
I was about 3 or 4 years old then. Yes.
And why did your mother say you were supposed to pass through the back door instead of the front door?
Because during that time, Black folks had to go through the back door and they couldn't go through the front door. And so that was the time, being down south, that's what it was, African American people were still picking cotton. They was working, housemaids working in the house. And just as a kid, I just remember my mother going and cleaning the lady's house that was across the street from where we live. And so she took me with her, and she had to bring her blanket and lay me on the floor to take a nap while she cleaned. I hated that even as a little kid. Why do I have to sleep on the floor? How come I can't get up in their bed? So I was always that curious kid, like, why? It was just, I saw things as a young girl that it was different, and so I don't care for that. And I don't like that. So that's why I always try to treat people fair. No matter what color you are, I want to try to treat everybody fair and to get that respect from them.
So when did all this begin to change for you? Now you grew up, you're a young adolescent now. Tell me what you see in Tennessee. What do you see around you?
So now at that time, we had moved to Michigan. My grandmother passed, and so my father brought us all up to Michigan. So we came to live in Detroit, Michigan. And so that's where it started. And I remember a little girl sitting on the back porch, and teaching. I always wanted to be a teacher, even as a young girl. So I would get the little kids and sit them on the step, and I would teach them, read the Bible to them, and teach them Bible class. So I said, when I grow up, I want to be a Sunday school teacher. Didn't know that Sunday school teachers didn't get paid, but that was let me know that was my journey to teach. So that's a start. So fast forward, I went on and um, completed school and everything, got married, and then fast forward, my mom passed. And so I decided to go back to school to get my mind off of, me losing her and everything. So I went back to college. So I completed college. And so to just go and kept pushing myself, I went straight through, went and got my bachelor, then I went and got my master's. And that was my healing part, to go to school. And I learned so much, and just perfecting to learn more about how to teach, how to train. So I ended up getting a master in adult education and training, and just start training and working. I went to school also to cosmetology because my children was young, and I wanted something where I can um, manage my hours so that I can be with my children and work around. So being a cosmetology, you can set your own hours. So set my hours so I can get off and get home and be able to care for my family and just move forward. And then I wrote down my goals, what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to become an instructor. I wanted to be a platform artist. I wanted to open up my own school, and I completed all those goals. So this is the goal that I have completed, to open up my own school. And my daughter followed suit with me. She was like, I don't want to do this. I'm in between jobs. I said, well, go back to school and get your cosmetology license. It will allow you to take care of you and your daughter, but you have to run it like a business. You can't just be out here doing it. You have to value people time. So she went back to school and got her license. And I had already had two other salons, and we was working in a salon, and she goes, Ma, I think I want to open up my own salon. Let's do this together. So we end up in 2012. We came together and we opened up our first salon together. We opened it up, then we expanded and got another building in 2015, and we're here at this location now. And so we're just a two mother and daughter trying to make a difference in the community. So we do volunteer work with the veterans, we do with the homeless, we do with the kids. We offer programs and teaching young girls how to take care of themselves, how to do their hair, how to do their makeup, and doing hair on a budget. If you can't afford to go to the salon, these are things that you can do. So we do all those things and just trying to make a difference in the community. That's our biggest thing, is the community volunteer, donating food. And that's just what we're about. And that's what I enjoy doing. And I just love knowing that I have put a smile on someone's face and lift them up. And they said, you always smiling. And I smile because I want other people to smile no matter what I go through in life. I don't let it get me down. I keep moving. Um, Even surviving fourth-stage thyroid cancer, um, that even pushed me even more, that we have to be thankful and grateful. And no matter what storms you go through with, you have to continue to stay strong and pull through it. Don't let it get you down. And my kids was worried about me. And I said, don't worry about me. If I didn't have Jesus in my life, then you worry. I said, because he got this. And he said, whatever I ask for, he will give it to me. So I had to be patient through that storm so that he can get me to the school. I wanted to open up the school in 2016, but it wouldn't happen, and I didn't understand why. But now I know why. It's because in 2017, 18, 19, I was sick. So God had to do some renovation on me to get me prepared for the school so that I'm able to run that school and do what he wanted me to do. So those are some of the challenge, but I'm not going to say the challenge. Those were the things that to help build me up to get me to where I am today. So my goal is to continue to grow and grow and grow and just put a smile on people's face.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. It's so beautiful. Now, how do your daughter feel working with you, able to, of course, understand your background, and you are there, sort of still coaching her, and you are doing a business together? No, one thing is to do business with some friends. Another one is to do an educational business with your mother, and you are having the same goal, the same objective. Tell me about that. What does she feel? What does she tell you about that?
Oh, she loves it. And we feed off of each other. She deals with the financial part of the business and the creative director. I deal with the director of education. I do the training and we work together. I'm like, I don't like this. She do the design, set up how she wants the salon done and everything. And we just work together and we work side by side doing hair and um, when I can't do when I was off sick, my daughter was able to do my clients. And we just sit down and have meetings and brainstorm what can we do to make this a difference in this and give someone a piece of us. So now I'm trying to clone me and so that I can pass on to other stylists so they can take my clients because I'm retired from a behind the chair. I do work 1 day a week behind the chair, the Monday through Friday. I teach in the school. So, but it's great working with my daughter, to be my daughter, to be my partner, to be my best friend. Just the bond that my daughter and I have is awesome. And everyone just loved that. We bump heads sometimes like saying, no, I don't want to do that way. He was like, no, mom, this is what we have to do. This is what the people like the social media thing. I'm just not good with that. But she said, Mom, well, you got to get with it. You got to learn more. You got to get on there and show your face. And I said, I am so nervous to get on here and talk. Now I can talk when I'm in a classroom. She said, well, that's what you have to do is get on social media and start talking, Mom. Tell your story. Tell what we're doing. You have to do that. So we're a great team together. I couldn't have asked for a better partner.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. There cannot be a better partner than this. This is a generational journey. This is something really powerful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, tell me about the goal. You say you set out a goal to achieve this, and now you have achieved it. When did you set out this goal? Tell me how.
So what I done, they said when you write it down, it'll come alive. So I wrote my goal out over 30 years ago, what I wanted to accomplish. And it doesn't happen the way we think it's going to happen. It's 1 day at a time. It could be 5, 10 years, but it's your goal. You wrote it down and it is happening. So just writing down what you want to achieve and you take one step at a time till you get it. And it doesn't matter. I don't look at what someone else is doing. I look at what I'm doing because what works for them is for them and what works for me is for me. So setting out and to just achieve that goal on what you want to accomplish in life. And that's my goal is to have a classroom with just 8 students in there, and just training them and training them up where that when they leave out of the school, they can move upstairs because upstairs is our salon and the lower level is our institute. So when they train, they finish, they can go upstairs and they can work in a real life salon and stay there and continue to get that coaching. And if they decide they want to go to another salon, they have that choice of doing that. But I want to make sure they have that foundation before they move and go anywhere. You got to have the foundation in order to succeed in this industry.
So you did say mm, you wanted to be a teacher when you were much younger, correct?
Yes.
And now you have grown up. You, of course, set out your trajectory, and you eventually set up a business around teaching.
Yes.
Why?
Because I know that knowledge is powerful. And when you don't know something, I've seen people when they don't know that can't read, they're in the industry, they can't read. So I asked myself, how can you help these people to be able to read? They can see what they're doing, but they didn't know how to read the product to do it. They just look and see. So teaching them that you got to read the manufacturing directions. And because what worked for one company product may not work for the next company. So just showing them how to read and break it down, what they're looking for, find out what's in that product, find out what is the direction of that product, what is it telling you to do, what are the benefits from it. So when I asked the young lady that's shampooing, I don't want you to just shampoo and go into motion. When I say, what did you put on her? Or why did you put that on? I don't know. I will not accept the answer of I don't know. You need to find me an answer, because if you don't know, why did you do it? So I train them with product knowledge. The reason why are you doing what you're doing? I walk them through all of this, and you talk to the client and tell them, "Oh, I'm going to use a dandruff treatment on you because your scalp is flaking, and you said that your scalp is itching. And I noticed that you're having some breakage. So we're going to put a protein pack on. We're going to give you a treatment day. We're going to add that to your ticket." Tell them why you're doing and what you're doing. You have to be able to do that. A lot of people do, as that saying, they say, monkey see, monkey do. I don't accept that. You need to know, don't see something and don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because you're seeing it. That I don't accept that. No. You need to know why you're doing it and why, and what are the benefits for this. So when you're doing this, so what are the benefits? What benefit is this client going to get from that? So that's how I train them. And they said that I'm hard. And I said, you're going to hate me now, but you're going to love me later. And I that's just how I am. I'm about being on time. You got to be there for your client. You have to value your client. You got to come in and look presentable. You just can't come in looking any kind of way, and you're servicing people. This is $1 billion industry, and you come in the salon looking like you just woke up. That's not acceptable. I take time out to get my makeup on and get myself together to present the client, and I'm ready for them when they come in. And that's the standard that I set. And my daughter, she'll come in late. I said, no, I don't care if the assistant is here. You need to be here. The client needs to know that you're here. So I'm hard on her on that as well.
That's good. That's good. Now, how did you come up with this kind of strategy? Is it that you learned it somewhere, you read it in a book, or tell me, how did you mature this strategy that is perfectly in line with the world that we're living in today, and of course, it's working for you?
So it comes, and I have to give credit out to Design Essential. I was a platform artist for Design Essential. So they took us through intense training and setting up and doing. So I got a great deal of training from Design Essential, from taking other classes, going in different salons and seeing how they was not structured and how they wasn't professional. And so I just decided that's not how I want to structure my business in my life. I want to be able to be professional. I want to be knowledgeable. When I tell my clients, pick my brain. I have a lot of knowledge up here, pick my brain, talk to me. And I'm communicating because clients are on YouTube, and I have to be a step ahead of them. I don't want to carry this. I say I'm a doctor of hair. I'm a doctor of education, because I'm always reading. I'm going to different classes, and I notice when I go to certain classes and some of my students see me there, they get nervous. Don't get nervous, because they know what my standards is. And I have exchanged service. Like a young man, I wanted him to do a cutting class, and I says, let's exchange services. I will show you how to be a platform artist, techniques and things, how to do when you're teaching. So as he's teaching us this cut, I had to feedback and tell him how, when he's teaching a class, that they have to see you. You can't turn your back from them. You have to project your voice when you're talking and moving so they can see it, and ask them questions. You have to be able to talk and work at the same time. So just sharing that knowledge with them, and just sharing knowledge. That's what it's about. And you can exchange services. You don't always have to charge for your time. Like, oh, I'll show you this if you give me $500. No, how about we exchange services? With me, it's not always about the money. Yeah, of course, we need money to survive and everything like that. But when you do quality work or you helping people, that the money will come. That's not my focus is money. That's why I decided to have a small school with small classes, no more than 8, because a bigger school, students get lost. They don't get that quality service. When you got students who have different learning styles, when you get in a bigger school, they don't care about your learning style. If you have a learning disability, you either get it or you don't. Well, I'm not that educator. I want to be able to address the ones that have different learning style so they can adapt to it. If I know that they have a reading comprehensive, if I got to read to them to pass that test, then I'm going to read to them so that they can pass that test. I will go that extra mile. I'm that girl.
Thank you so much for your service. All right, now tell me something. The community, you mentioned it a couple of times. I see that your business also is centered around that. Uh, do you want to say something about it?
Well, when I speak about the community, we have a lot of young people that are lost and they act out, they have behavior issues and everything. And so you have to tap into, like, why do they have this behavior problem? Some of them have the behavior problem because they lack knowledge. They don't know how to read. They can't pronounce their words good. I said, that's okay, because some words I can't pronounce either. Um, and that hindered me because I thought I couldn't pronounce the words all correctly. And someone once told me it doesn't matter if you can't pronounce it, ask them to help you pronounce it, and you keep it moving. And so you got to be able to help them. Some of them been abused, and I tap into it. When they asked me, I said, I like the bad kids because those are kids that gravitate to me. It's nothing for me to tell a young man, you know what, you are a very handsome guy, put those pants up. Or a young lady got a bonnet on her head or a comb stuck in her head. I said, now you know you too pretty to have that out there and pajamas on. And the young lady turned around to me. She said, I know I was brushing. I said, pretty girls don't do that. And she just smiled. Now someone else could have said something, they would have went off. But see, people feel the love that I have. I have the love for people. And so when they feel that love and they see that, you touch them. You go in and work. If you can't afford it, let's see what we can come up with a plan so you can afford it. But don't let money hinder you. So that's what I'm saying. Tapping into that community that kids are being abused. They don't have the education. They can't get to school. They want to do hair. So they get locked into doing hair because that's a comfort for them. So let's take it a little bit further. Let's get your license. Let's make a difference. And it's okay. Some people look down as being a hairstylist. You don't want to be a hairstylist. Why not? It's hairstylists make more money than doctors. So it's how they structure their business, and you can do the same thing. So I even teach them when I ask the young people, so how much money do you want to make? And they tell me, and I show them how to make that money. If you want to book, if you want $500 a week, if you're saying that, then you're going to have to set 5 clients a day, 3 clients a day. And when you see that money coming in, it's going to make you strive more and say, well, I want to do more than 5 clients. Set up your budget. How much you want to pay for rent? How much you want your car note to be? You set your budget, and then you set on how many clients that you want to achieve that day, to do that day, and then you achieve your goal and what you want to make. And teach them that you don't put the money in your pocket. You go and open up a bank account. You take business classes. You talk to people that have made mistakes, and how to grow your business. And that's how I reach out to the community.
Thank you so much for that. Now, what is the primary objective of this business? I can see it to be bigger than just a business because it's a good service, a big one that you are rendering to the community. What is the primary objective you have in your?
In my mind, the primary objective that I have is to offer intimate, offer intimate learning environment so that they can have a greater impact. That's my objective to the school. And then often small classes, so that they can get quality education, training, and job placement. That's my objective.
How can people reach out to you, those who want to do business with you?
So if they want to do business with me, they can call the school. It's in Southfield, Michigan. It's 248-873-7521. And my email is cbinstitute5@gmail.com. They can contact me if they want to come together. We want to talk about how can we make this industry better? How can we grow? How can we get students to stop taking the short way out? Because there's a lot of people out here that's doing hair that is unlicensed, and I call them a wannabe cosmetology. So why not connect and let me show you how you can get your license and uplift you and motivate you to be better, to set better standards for yourself, and not just going the short, get the short end of the stick.
All right. So what would be your final thought here to conclude the conversation?
My final thought is knowledge is powerful. Don't sell yourself short. Learn all that you can learn. Better yourself. Take classes. Network with people so that you can learn and you be better at what you do. And it's okay not to know. But what we should do is find out what we don't know and just keep striving every day to be better than you was yesterday. And most important, my final thought is it's always help someone. Give a helping hand to someone. Don't always charge for your service. It's okay to donate services, to help people, to lift them up. So that's joy right there that you have gave someone something. Because, as the Bible says, it's better to give than receive. So you want to always be able to give and help someone out along the way. They have a question they want to know. It's okay to help them out and give them advice or give them some suggestion on what they're doing. And then you can always come back to them. Like, I have a question. We have to be able to feed one another in order to grow. So let's feed one another to grow and to be better in the community. Don't look down, look up, and continue to grow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate what we have benefited from your sharing. Thank you so much for that.
And thank you so much for having me. And I'm looking forward to network with you more, that we can grow, that I can be able to share something in your community to be able to have an impact on the students that you have and on this platform that you have established. And it's a wonderful thing, an awesome thing that you're doing. I salute you to this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening and talk to you in the next episode.